this problemo right here. Test review, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to use a variety of methods to solve and factor and solve quadratics. We'll also graph quadratics, and then I will be showing you how to do this on the calculator and on Desmos. This is recorded, so please watch this, because tomorrow you will have an opportunity to use both Desmos and ATI calculator to help you with your answers. Okay. I will now take out my phone and use PhotoMath to solve every problem in approximately 10 seconds. But we know you do at home. I mean, like students in general, we know. I encourage it. See, what I would like all of you to do is use PhotoMath, but then pay the $2.99 to unlock show steps. Okay, because you could turn that cheating tool into a learning tool. Then it would show you the steps and you could practice. Like, I like to know the answer. Okay. PhotoMath. There's also one called Mathway. So look, I like to know the answer to the question ahead of time. This is how they teach it in college. You're given everything. Okay. So what we want is to find that u equals -2 and that u equals 7. Okay, that's our goal. Let's see if we can get there, and we'll kind of not look at how he did it. We'll just do it our way and see if we can get there. So the practice problem was u squared minus 5u minus 14 equals 0. Hang on, I'll write it again, Brenda. I better make a new tab for this, and we'll call this Quadratics Test Review. La gente. Okay. Okay, I never remember when I say the problem, and then I never remember it. So u squared minus 5u minus 14 equals 0. Now, I already forgot it again. U squared. U squared minus 5u minus 14 equals 0. Question, is a equal to 1? Yes. Okay. What is b equal to? -5. And c equals -14. Now, because c is negative, we will have different signs on our factors and answers. And because b is negative, the bigger number of the factors and solutions will be negative. So what we do now, ladies and gentlemen, is we try to find two numbers that add to equal the middle term, which is b, which is -5, and multiply to equal the last term, which is c, which is -14. Okay. So let's take 14 and break it down. 1, 14, 2, 7. That's it. Okay. Now we're factored down to prime. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I realize 1 is not a prime number, but those are all the factor pairs. So the way we do this is we don't try to skip and just guess. Don't guess. Put 1, 14, 2, 7. And now use your rules. Remember, b is negative, so the bigger number will be negative. So go put a negative sign in front of the 14, in front of the 7, and then put a plus sign in front of the 1 and the 2. Set them equal, and then add. 1 plus -14 is -13. -13 is not equal to -5, so this is not the factor pair. 2 plus -7 is -5. This is equal to -5, so this is the factor pair. Bless you. Okay, does everyone understand how I'm coming up with these numbers? Please shout out or scream, okay, or make a loud noise if you need me to re-explain. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are your factors, okay? So we're going to write plus 2 and minus 7, plus 2 and minus 7, okay? Just make sure it works. No. 2 plus negative 7 equals negative 5, check. 2 times negative 7 equals negative 14, check. Okay, it works. And now we're ready to factor. Open parentheses, close parentheses, open parentheses, close parentheses, equals 0. U plus 2 minus 7. Okay, make sure to shout out if you don't get it. U plus 2 equals 0. U minus 7 equals 0. To solve these tiny linear equations, we just subtract 2 from both sides here, and u equals negative 2. And here we add 7 to both sides here, so u equals 7. This is an example of solving a quadratic when a equals 1. So these are the very simplest of cases when a equals 1. Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, that these two numbers represent the x-intercepts of the graph. So the graph crosses the x-axis at negative 2, 0 and 7, 0. The roots, that's right. The y-intercept is c, which is negative 14. So you just need to be aware of these little facts. Also, since a is positive, we know the graph slopes upward. Okay? Just keep that in your mind, all right? Now, let's identify the domain and range of this graph. Okay? I'll give you a hint on domain. It is the same for every quadratic function in existence. How would you say that? Yeah, that's correct. But can you use more formal language? All all. What does this symbol mean, ladies and gentlemen? Oh dear. All real numbers. Why is it first? What do you mean? So the y-intercept would be at 0, negative 14, but the intercepts, the x value always comes first. Okay? Tell you what, let's save range for another problem. Feel like we did that one to death. You okay? Okay, did we get that right according to Mr. Paul? Yeesh. Next problem. Oh, no, that's another easy one. Easy. Okay, here we go. Now we cooking. All right. Okay, to save myself some sanity, I'm just going to grab it. Go away. And then pasty it right here. Oh, yeah. All right, so we're going to solve this. And guys, this is a quadratic with a not equal to 1. Okay, so we can't use the simple technique that we just did. We have to do something called factor by grouping. Okay, a grouping. Now we can't start this problem because it is not in our special snowflake standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we need to manipulate the equation to get it into standard form. So the first thing I'll do is add 6x squared to both sides. That is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to rewrite the equation as 6x squared plus 19x equals 7. But that doesn't look like standard form because 7 is not 0. So I need to move this homeboy over to the other side using the subtraction property of equality. Ladies and gentlemen, that means that we have 6x squared plus 19x menos 7 es 0. 6x squared plus 19x minus 7 equals 0. Okay, so just get here. And just get here. Now we have to factor by grouping. But first, we need to identify A, B, and C, ladies and gentlemen. What is A? 6. What is B? And C is negative 7. Okay. So when we have a leading coefficient that is not 1, we have to multiply that leading coefficient by the C value, and that creates something called the master product, or MP. Okay? And that's A times C. So what is the master product? So yeah, it's 6 times negative 7, and that is equal to negative 42. Can you say it in Spanish? Negativo, and then how do you say 40? Cuarenta, and then 2 is dos, so negativo 42. So what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, are two numbers that add to equal 19 and multiply to equal negative 42. That is what we are looking for. And so we are going to use the philosophy of the greatest math teacher ever, Jigsaw, and we are going to play a little game. So our first factor pair is 1 and 42. Can't forget that one. Then we have 2 and 21, and then we have 3 and 7. So here's how this works. 1 times 42 is a factor pair. So you write 1, 42. And then what you do is you multiply 1 times 2, and then you multiply that product by this number. So what's 1 times 2? 2. And what is this number here? 21. So those two multiply together to be 42. Now guess what I'm going to do? 1 times 2 times 3. What's 1 times 2 times 3? 6. And what times 6 equals 42? Right, so that's that number right there. So you don't have to think if you do it this way. I like not thinking. My brain doesn't work very well. So now, look at C. It says the factors will have different signs. If C is negative, the factors have different signs. Then you look at B. B is a positive number, so the big number is positive. So we're just going to go through and add these plus signs next to the big numbers and minus signs next to the small numbers. Now we are going to add each one until we arrive at 19. Negative 1 plus 42 is 41. That is not equal to 19. Negative 2 plus 21 is 19. That is equal to 19. Oh. So our factors are -2 and 21, -2 and 21. But remember, this is factoring by grouping. So we have to split the middle term. Okay. We got to split that wig. And we're going to put with the 6x squared minus 2x. And then we'll write plus 21x. And then we are going to bring down 6x squared and bring down that minus 7 and set the whole thing equal to 0. And we're on our way, ladies and gentlemen. We are on our way. Okay? We're going to put these terms into little parentheses to create two separate binomial factors. And then we are going to play another little game called Greatest Common Factor. So I can pull a 2x out of this one and a 2x out of this one. And I can pull a 7. I almost said the other word, but I don't want to say that. Just 7. We can pull a 7 out of that. Now these homeboys, what they're going to do is they're going to come sit out to the left. 2x out front. Okay, open parentheses. And now 6x squared divided by 2x is 3x minus 2x divided by 2x. They completely cancel out, leaving behind uno. Okay, a good game. Now we are going to bring this 7 out front, and that is a plus 7. Open parenthesis. 21x divided by 7 is 3x. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so it's just minus 1. We want these two things to be lo mismo, the same, okay? We want these two things to be the same. Now you form your final factors by taking these two homies and putting them in their own little binomial. So that would be 2x plus 7 times 3x minus 1, that other binomial pair, okay, equals 0. And now we are one step from the finish line. Ready? Set both factors equal to 0 and solve for x. I'm going to let you do this because you need to be able to do this. Okay. Great work today. We're almost done. Yes. I think both of them will be fractional. Okay. 30 seconds is up. So what we're going to do here is subtract 7 from both sides. And we have 2x equals -7. Divide both sides by 2. And we have x equals -7 over 2. You never know with these problems what they want. So I always like to take the time to go ahead and convert to a decimal, which would be -3.5. So either, right? You never know what they're going to give you. Like Forrest Gump said, plus 1 on both sides. And now we have 3x equals uno. Divide both sides by 3. And we have x equals 1/3, which we all know as a decimal is 0.3 repeating. Okay, so here are your two answers. And again, we have no clue if they're going to want the fractions or the decimals. I don't even know what Dr. Paul Dawkins wants. So let's go cambiar that. Let me show all steps. Oh, yeah, he wanted those fractions. I knew he would want that too because he was obsessed with not approximating. Let me tell you a story about Dr. Paul. I went to Dr. Paul Dawkins when I was 16 years old at Lamar University, and my girlfriend at the time was a genius. and she was in calculus as a 16-year-old. Okay. So basically, she was taking college level physics and calculus, and she was the smartest. But she got a perfect score on the SAT, and she was in calculus, and I wanted to be in calculus, but I was a Dumbo, and I never went to class and didn't do any work. And I was also a little like you know what I mean by like white boy thug. Okay, that was how I was. And so I was like a little white boy thug, always popping off at the mouth. And I was always in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I was always in trouble. And so I went to Dr. Paul Dawkins and I said, dude, I want to be in your class because my girlfriend is in your class. And he said, do you know anything about math? I said, no, I don't. But I will pay a senior to do all my work. And he said, awesome. And he signed my exemption form so I could be in his class. And that's when I knew Dr. Paul was a great teacher. Okay. Oh, yeah. I did. Well, when you get into college, anything is possible. Okay. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. So that was that problem. And I feel like at this point, we should learn about some technology. Okay. So let's all go get a calculator and let's all go get a Chromebook. Let's take a moment to do that. Because now we're going to pull the parachute. All right. This is for you, Sheridan. Pulling the parachute. And she said she was really thinking she wasn't going to be able to continue. I said, remember, the parachute is there. You can pull the parachute at any time and save yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Oh, yeah. I want to get a thing to hold the basketball so it doesn't roll like an 18-wheeler. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I just beat myself over the head with a baseball bat repeatedly and then take an ice cold shower and then go get chased by a bear. And it kind of gets the blood flowing a little bit. Okay. www.amazon.com. And then what we want to look for is basketball holder thing. I want it like that'll work, right? I wanted kind of one of those 3-prong things. No, basketball display holder thing. Let me see. This. That's what I wanted. That'll look cool. Because, Shauna gave that to me, and I definitely will keep it forever. Should I get this one or the other one? You like this one, right? This is better. Okay. All right. Well, I'll put that in the cart. Okay. Sorry for wasting your time with my personal shopping. Let's cheat. Okay. That feels like something we should do. I would be a good teacher to show you how to cheat. Let's learn how to cheat on our math. Now, the first thing I'd like to do is show you how to cheat using the TI calculator because you never know. Honestly, we don't know if you're going to be able to use Desmos on the STAR test. I don't know. So you have to know how to use a calculator. Let's turn on El Calculador. Or Sahaba, I have no idea. Oh, it won't matter. Oh, no, don't log in. Just use Desmos test mode from the kiosk. Use Desmos test mode from the kiosk. Yeah, we don't want you to, we want you to have whatever limitations it's placing on you. And I also need you to click on choose assessment. Look, I can't show you this on my screen because I don't have a Chromebook. Up here at the top, when you get to this screen, click on choose assessment and then scroll down until you see the Texas star. Okay? You have to click that, or else what you're going to do is you're going to train yourself with some skills that this thing does not actually let you do. Okay, so now I know Allie is in star Desmos test mode. Make sure you're in star algebra, 8th grade, 9th grade, etc. Texas star, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and if I tell you to do something on Desmos and you can't do it, tell me, because that's something that the star is limiting. Okay, but first we're going to use the calculator. Make sure the very first thing you do when you use the calculator is clear the memory. Second plus 712, that's right. Okay. Now hit y equals. Okay, let's ask ourselves a question. Selves, can we stick this into y equals in its current form? No. Why not? Because it's not equal to 0 or it's not in y equals form. So you have to do one step before you can cheat, okay? You've got to switch that 5. So let's go ahead and paste this dude right here. Come on, bro. Come on, $2,000 computer. Can you not do anything? Okay, so what would be the only step I have to do here? Move the 5. How do I move the 5? -5 on both sides. A dos lados. Nope. Now, we're going to write this in exactly the form that we're going to stick it in the calculator. So, replace the W's with X's. Oh, here. Started writing W. Put this in your calculator in y equals. So, what you need is y1 equals, and then put that in. (6x squared minus x minus 5). 6x squared minus x minus 5. Okay, go ahead and click graph. X, aquí. Esto menos x menos 5. Okay, entonces presione aquí. All right, so now we're going to press graph. Wow. Okay, we're going to identify several features. First, we're going to identify the x-intercepts. How do I do that? Yeah, but we have a problem. We have a problem, people. If I zoom in right here, we're going to see the problem. Oh, ouch. So it doesn't cross. It doesn't cross at like a specific little hash mark. So how do I do that one? What's the technique? It's a key press. Tell me the technique. Oh, now so we got to learn this, all right? Here, you're going to write this down in your notes. Nope, you're going to write this down in your notes because you're going to have a chance to use your notes on the test. So, how to find zeros on TI. Second, trace 2, and then do left bound, right bound, and guess. Okay? It's easy. It's easier than what it even looks like. Second trace 2, left bound, right bound, guess. Second trace 2, left bound, right bound, guess. Okay, we just need the drum line to set that up for us. D and J, can you hook that up for us? Come up with a little drum line. All right. Nice. Okay, so look, we're going to hit second, trace, 2 for 0, and then it says left bound. What you need to do is put this little blinking cursor to the left of the intercept. Now that, it looks like it's above the intercept, yes, but it's also horizontally to the left of it. So hit enter, then put it below the line or to the right of the intercept. This is the right bound, hit enter, and then hit guess, and it tells you the answer. Okay, did y'all get that? What'd you get? Oh, you don't know. You want me to show it again? Okay, here we go. Second, trace, 2. So you need the blinking cursor to be... You're fine. Hit enter. Okay. Now enter there, and now it's telling you, put me the right bound. So you need to be below and to the right of the intercept. Enter. And then it says guess, and it guesses. Make sure you can get that. If you do one thing today, make sure you can get that. Now, how do we turn negative 0.83333333 into a fraction without doing any work? Okay, make sure you put that 3 more times than you think you'll need to. Okay, that was a bit excessive. But then hit math. Oops. Hit math. Enter. Enter. Negative 5/6. That was easy. Now let's find the other one. Second, trace, 2. Now I'm going to find the one for this other x-intercept. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to put the first thing there. This time I'm below the line because I'm on the right side of the graph. So left bound there. Uh-oh. I totally screwed it up. Sorry. Hold up. Second, trace, 2. Left bound, enter. Go above the line, right bound, enter, and then guess. And that one was easy, right? That one was crossing at 1. You could have seen that from actually just looking at the graph, but it's not often that easy. Now let's find the y-intercept. We're actually going to do that by hitting second, graph, and then looking where x equals 0. I'm on it right now. X equals 0, what is y? So the y-intercept is negative 5, and we could have just looked at our graph. We know that the c value is the y-intercept. See that? Now let's find the vertex. Okay, guys, all this would take about 45 minutes on paper. So what you're going to do is go back to your graph and zoom standard. So zoom 6 to get back to that basic shape. Now what we want to know is, what is this coordinate right here at the bottom of this hoop? So the very first thing we're going to do is move our cursor until we're right on top of that point. Okay, right there. Now zoom in so you can see it. Right? Make sure you're following this. I guess we're not going to have time to get to Desmos today. Now hit second, trace, minimum, because this is the minimum value of the graph. Okay, hit enter, and then it's the same process. Left bound, go to the left. Right bound, make sure you're to the right of the bottom of the hoop, and then enter. Okay, I would just write those numbers down and then stick them into your home screen and try to do a math frac. Okay, so the range of this function, the domain is all real numbers, but the range of this function is negative 5.04, less than or equal to y, less than or equal to infinity. In other words, just look at the graph. The range is, what y values can the graph be? Well, the very bottom of the graph is at negative 5.041667. It can't go below this. So that's the bottom of the range. The top of the range is infinity. So it's the minimum y value all the way up to infinity. So the vertex, not the y-intercept. It's going to be on the star test. They're going to tell you two different answers, and you're going to think, oh, it's the y-intercept. No, that's not the bottom of the graph. Sometimes it is, but it isn't right here. Okay, so the y-intercept is negative 5. The range vertex value is negative 5.04. This is exactly the type of question they put on the star test. They'll say, what is the range of this graph? And they'll give you negative 5 to positive infinity and negative 5.04 to positive infinity. Make sure you choose the correct answer. All right, good job today. So just leave the Chromebooks there because and the calculators because the kids will need them in second period. Guys, I've shown you everything you're going to need to know for the test tomorrow. This is being recorded. I'll be online tonight, starting at about 6. So if you do have more questions, I will be doing a much, much lengthier test review tonight. Okay, because we didn't get to like a number of tiny little concepts here. Let me end the live stream here. Good job today. Very proud of you. Can't wait to teach you exponential functions. And thank you, Dr. Paul.